Welcome to WatchMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 most beloved horror games ever made. We're limiting our list to one game per franchise.
I know it can be a bit overwhelming, but I'm here to tell you there's nothing to worry about. You'll be fine.
Number 10, Signalus. Since its debut in 2022, many folks have sung nothing but high praise for Signalus, and for good reason. For some, it's the way the game feels like a modern take on classic survival horror games such as the original Resident Evil. For others, it's the unique atmosphere that feels very much like Alien or The Thing. But anyone who's played the game will tell you how every facet of the game, audio, visuals, and narrative will haunt you whenever you're not playing. Signalus boasts an incredibly dark and dismal futuristic world, and you'll want to play more to see every possible ending. Number 9, Phasmophobia. Much of the appeal of Phasmophobia stems from one aspect and one aspect only. It's a ghost hunting game you play with friends. Instant money printer of an idea. Yes, you and your friends visit various locations and must find clues to determine what kind of spectral demon you're up against. You'll get points for simply going in, identifying, and leaving. However, if you want a real challenge, you can always try capturing whatever spirit haunts the grounds. It's easier said than done, but you'll wind up laughing as you hear your buds get their mics cut out upon death. Is it any wonder how this game sold a ton of copies between PC and console? Number 8, Dead by Daylight.
Is that all you have?
Whereas Phasmophobia has players going up against powerful ghosts, Dead by Daylight puts you and 3 other players against another player who is acting as a killer. Repair 5 out of 8 generators to open the gates and escape the map before the killer can sacrifice you. With more than 40 killers with unique playstyles and a wealth of survivors with unique cosmetics, Dead by Daylight has become a force to be reckoned with, as it has dominated the asymmetrical multiplayer space for the past decade. Even if some of the community acts like the game is dying all the time, Dead by Daylight still sees hundreds of thousands of players log in every day between console, PC, and mobile.
Let's finish this.
Number 7, Until Dawn.
Well, hello, friends and fans. It's beyond awesome to have you guys all back this year.
Sony has tried its hand at horror games before with gems like Siren, although Until Dawn is often the first game that comes to mind when folks think scary PlayStation game. This truly was one of the most imaginative games we saw on the PS4 with its branching narrative, robust cast of characters, and unique premise. Plus, the inclusion of totems was an ingenious way to make players carefully consider their choices and try to keep everyone alive until the very end. Just one playthrough will show why folks have been clamoring for a sequel all these years later. Number 6, Fear.
What's the first thing you remember?
Though its time in the sun was short-lived, Fear is often remembered as one of the most unique titles that graced the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. In addition to featuring some pretty solid gunplay, Fear was almost constantly playing tricks on the player with visual and audible hallucinations. Before the game was over, we were second-guessing almost everything we were seeing. While the second game was just as good as the first, the third game is kinda the reason we haven't seen Fear since we came for the horror, not some Call of Duty clone. And that delicate balance is why so many love the original game.
There are 4 pylons. Damage the reactor cells, and you'll trigger a chain reaction. Blow the whole place to hell.
Number 5, Dead Space.
You're gonna need to boost the signal if their power's low.
Yes, we know. Boost the signal. More.
If sci-fi horror is more your speed, Dead Space has forever been a must-play. Back when it first launched, Dead Space was quickly earning the reputation of the most intense and scariest horror game ever made. From the grotesque aesthetics to the brilliant UI design, everything about this game was creatively terrifying. If you feel the original hasn't aged all that well, we highly advise you play the 2023 remake as it rebuilds the original with better visuals, performance, and new mechanics. Number 4. Outlast. Despite having fewer games than most horror franchises, Outlast has made quite the impression on folks, and its mark still lingers today. The original game was revered for its disturbing visuals and how a night lens for a camcorder was vital to your survival. Of course, the other part that made it memorable was the handful of psychotic patients that were skulking around the abandoned insane asylum. Even if you chickened out a quarter of the way through, no one ever forgets the experience with Outlast.
Little pig.
Number 3. Five Nights at Freddy's.
Let's see. First, there's an introductory greeting from the company that I'm supposed to read. It's kind of a legal thing, you know.
Roll your eyes all you want, but Five Nights at Freddy's has only increased in popularity over the years. The first game was such a breath of fresh air that was desperately needed in horror games. We were already subjected to seas of horror shooter games. What Five Nights at Freddy's brought was a haunted pizzeria with creepy animatronics roaming around the place, tapping into a childhood nightmare for many players old and young. Now we have a blockbuster franchise loaded with several sequel and spin-off games, a line of books and graphic novels, and now a possible multi-million-dollar movie franchise.
I wanted to record a message for you to help you get settled in on your first night. I actually worked in that office before you.
Number 2. Silent Hill 2.
You snotty little brat! Open up!
Why, you...
Laura?
You cut me!
Silent Hill 2 isn't just one of the most frightening games ever made. We can go on for ages about the creatively morbid environments, but that isn't the reason why Silent Hill 2 gets so much praise. People cherish this game because of its clever writing and mystery. For those of you still playing the remake or needing to play it, we won't spoil anything here. However, one playthrough will show anyone why this is the one game in the franchise that Silent Hill fans will forever champion.
Maybe then I can rest. Mama, why are you running away?
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure to go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. Resident Evil 4.
My name's Leon. I'm under the President's order to rescue you.
What? My father?
If you ask anyone what their favorite horror game is, chances are it's Resident Evil 4. Whether you want to go for the original or remake is up to you, but even the original will forever go down in history as one of the greatest games ever made. No, it isn't scary throughout, but it does jump between being terrifying and being funny in its own awkwardly corny ways. But to this day, people still relish in the combat, boss fights, set pieces, and extra game modes. There just hasn't been another horror game to get as much love as Resident Evil 4, and frankly, there may never be another game like it. Which one of these games is your favorite to play? Let us know down in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to Watch Mojo.
You disappoint me. Is that the best you've got?
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.